This isn't just a story about a car. It's really a story about a decade-long obsession. Today, we're going to dive into how one owner took the legendary Toyota Supra and, pretty much against all advice, transformed it from a video game fantasy into a real-life, fire-breathing, totally unique machine. So here's our game plan. We'll start at the very beginning with how the dream got started. Then we'll get into the really unconventional choices that defined this whole build. After that, we'll see how the car's look was forged to match its insane power, dive deep into the heart of the beast, and finally, kind of ask, what does it mean when a car becomes something more? All right, so every massive project has to start somewhere, right? It starts with an idea. And for this car, the dream didn't start on a racetrack or in a showroom. Nope. It began in the digital world of video games, long before this car was a movie star. And this quote, this right here from the owner, Kevin Bertels from Belgium, this is the soul of the entire story. For him, the Supra wasn't just some cool car to own. It was a personal hero, a dream he was absolutely determined to bring to life. So in 2008, it happens. The dream becomes a reality. Kevin finds himself a clean 1994 Japanese import, the perfect canvas. But here's the thing. For him, this beautiful stock car wasn't the final painting. It was just the first brushstroke. The car started its life with him making a respectable 245 horsepower. But you gotta think of that number as base camp on Mount Everest. For the summit Kevin was picturing in his mind, well, he was gonna need a whole lot more climbing gear. Okay, so to get that power, Kevin basically comes to a fork in the road. He could take the easy, well-traveled path that literally everyone was telling him to take. Or he could choose a path that was much, much harder. And this was the big question. See, the Supra came in two main flavors, non-turbo and the legendary twin-turbo. The obvious, easy move is to just swap in the factory turbo engine, the famous 2JZ GTE. It's known for being incredibly strong, a simple path to big power, so why on earth didn't he just do that? And his answer, it tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. He wanted to build something himself. He chose the hard path, turbocharging the original non-turbo engine. In the Supra community, they call this going NAT, for naturally aspirated to turbo. It is a massive challenge, but his goal was simple. He wanted his engine, just a whole lot better. This timeline just shows you how quickly things escalated. In 2009, it was simple stuff, wheels, suspension. But by 2010, boom, the engine and gearbox are out of the car and the real project had begun. This was a serious, no turning back kind of commitment. So was taking that harder path worth it? Oh, absolutely. Look at this jump. He didn't just add a little bit of power, he nearly tripled it, going from that stock 245 to a staggering 668 horsepower. His unconventional vision, it paid off in a huge way. All right, so now the car has the muscle to back up the talk. It was time to shape the exterior. The look had to be just as bold, just as unique as the engine hiding under that hood. Now, getting the look right wasn't easy. He tried one body kit that just didn't feel right. So he tracked down the iconic and pretty rare TRD wide body kit. But he didn't just bolt it on. Oh no, he had it professionally molded into the car's actual steel body, creating this seamless, flowing look that almost seems like it could have come from the factory, just way, way more aggressive. The attention to detail here is just incredible. The whole car was repainted in a stunning factory color, royal sapphire pearl. Inside, modern seats from a Toyota GT86 were painstakingly modified to fit perfectly. Every single part, inside and out, was a deliberate choice to create his one perfect vision. But if you're a true enthusiast, you know the feeling. Is it ever really enough? Of course not. For Kevin, 668 horsepower was just another baseline. It was time to tear the engine down to the last bolt and build it to handle even more. This next phase was surgical. We're not talking about simple bolt-on parts anymore. This was about rebuilding the engine's core for one single purpose, to handle truly immense power, and to do it reliably. That meant sourcing components that could withstand incredible stress without even breaking a sweat. Okay, so this list of parts is what car builders call a built motor. Think of it like this. It's like replacing a human's bones with titanium. These forged pistons and heavy-duty connecting rods can handle the massive pressure from a turbocharger that would literally shatter the original parts. This isn't just an upgrade, it's armor plating the engine from the inside out. And if the engine block is the skeleton, well, this is the respiratory and nervous system. A ported cylinder head just means the pathways for air have been widened so it can breathe better. A massive turbo forces that air in, a huge exhaust gets it out, and a state-of-the-art computer, the MKIV, that's the brain, managing every single event with absolute precision. So when you add up all these parts, all these hours, all this dedication, you start to realize this isn't just a car anymore. It's the physical result of a decade of just pure, unwavering passion. I mean, this build is the textbook definition of a passion project. It's a journey that was driven completely by a personal vision, not by what was convenient, not by what was easy, and definitely not by what everyone else was doing. And this final line from the article, it's the perfect summary. The car isn't done. It's a living, breathing project. The next step is the dyno. That's basically a treadmill for cars, to measure exactly how much power this new, fully built engine is really making. This whole journey just shows the power of sheer dedication. I mean, from a stock car with a dream to a 668 horsepower monster, and now to a fully rebuilt machine that's aiming for even greater heights. It's just a powerful story about what you can achieve when you stick to your own unconventional vision. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. When you pour this much of yourself into something, when it's your dream made real, is there ever a point where you can truly say it's finished and put the tools down for good? Or for a true passion project, is the journey the real destination? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.